There is one money block that affects everyone, but for women it's particularly damaging. As a collective, we carry so many money limiting programs that keep us small, and today I will uncover one of them. Hello, I'm Sabina, and on this channel I guide women into their feminine energy through spiritual insight, embodiment, and the power of belly dance. Let's begin with something simple. We are trained to spend money and instantly feel guilt or shame or fear. We spend money, we see the number on our account go down, and it makes us feel negative. But the thing is, money likes to flow, it likes to be used. It is there as a resource and not a museum piece that you're supposed to just look at and keep. Money has a purpose and it likes to be used for that purpose. When we treat it as something that you need to keep, we constrict the very channel that allows for it to come in the first place. Here's where it becomes interesting. You don't need a lot of money to survive. In theory, you can survive on a modest income that just covers the necessities like food, shelter, etc. So if you only ever allow yourself to buy only what you need and not what you desire, your financial capacity will only be that of survival and not expansion. And it's really important to monitor your state. So we often don't feel that bad when we buy food or necessities, but when it comes to buying what we actually like that we may not necessarily need, and we feel guilt, that again constricts that channel. It stops you from expanding and inviting more money into your life. The importance of desire and actually getting pleasure out of the things that we buy is really nicely highlighted by a numerology matrix. So I actually do numerology. In the matrix, you can see that the money channel sits in between the root chakra, which is the red point, and the sacral chakra, which is the orange point. Now, let me just explain quickly what the chakras are if you're not aware. The red root chakra is an energetic center that covers our stability, our safety, and it governs the material world, but only the necessities. So it covers things like food, shelter, security, etc. The orange center, which is the sacral chakra, rises above the root chakra, and we go from survival into feelings and pleasure. So we're no longer in survival mode. We actually open ourselves up to feelings, sensuality, creativity, and we need to ensure that we actually enjoy ourselves. So when we've covered the necessities, we now need to move on to actually living a life full of pleasure, positivity, and feeling more than just comfortable. When both of these centers are open, we can balance the more stable and safe and rooted aspect of money and the resources that we have. And we also allow ourselves to desire things, to enjoy things, and thus we invite more money to flow freely because we circulate it through emotional fulfillment and creativity. And this is actually a very feminine theme. So the sacral chakra is related to the feminine energy inside of us. Having this combination in balance is especially transformative for women because the sacral chakra invites things of ease, fluidity, creativity, and it is those very things that help women to earn more and actually earn in a way that doesn't feel so hard and depleting and draining. So in the end, wealth feels less like effort and more like magnetism. This does not mean that men lack desires, but instead their desires and their purchases tend to lean towards the more root-based expressions of safety and status symbols, for example, cars, investments, technology. Women, on the other hand, are more attracted to sacral-led choices like aesthetically pleasing places, beautiful clothes, perhaps something that nourishes the senses like a spa or a park, for example. And so these choices are very soul nourishing rather than practical. And here is the very lethal limiting money program that comes into women's heads. And it's the fact that they feel guilty for spending money on the things that make them feel good, that are not exactly necessary. And some women go as far as not even dreaming of things that they would like to purchase. And this is where your money flow is constricted. Remember, money flows best where it is welcome. So it's absolutely okay to desire things and to dream of things, to buy things. And these don't have to be luxury, expensive things. They could just be something meaningful and soulful, something that makes you feel joy and pleasure. So, what can we do about it, and how can we monitor this? Usually, when we have feelings of guilt around our desires and we don't allow ourselves to indulge in pleasure, this shows a sacral chakra block. And this is essentially tension, a lot of pent up emotions like guilt, lack of self worth. And this is stored in the hip and womb area. This is where the sacral chakra center is located. This actually manifests as rigid movements, rigid posture, and a disconnect from the things that you truly desire. One of the easiest ways that you can unblock your sacral chakra at home is through belly dancing. And as you may know, I am a professional belly dancer, and belly dance has been so transformative and pivotal for me in opening up my feminine energy, but also connecting to the feelings of abundance. I don't feel guilty when I choose to do things that bring me pleasure, whether it's through purchases, whether it's through setting boundaries and doing things that I like. And so belly dancing specifically has been amazing for the sacral chakra. And now I feel connected to my desires. I feel way more creative and I feel very sensual. And these have made me overall much, much more happier and has really increased my self-worth in turn. I have a small gift for you. I have a free recorded belly dance class that you can download in the link in the description. Even a few minutes a day of moving your hips, doing very beautiful undulating moves with the torso and the belly can help to awaken that femininity, awaken the sacral chakra, have more flow, and release those feelings of tension, of guilt that are often so stored in the hip area. The other thing that is detrimental to a woman's money channel is when she does what she does not like for work. And this relates to the sacral chakra again, because remember, the sacral chakra is all about enjoyment and also creativity. And creativity is very much related to feminine energy. All women have that side to them. Some of us just don't get to use that, or we just don't have that enjoyment in our work. And so the root and the sacral do not work together that well. I actually help people to find their life purpose and their career purpose and uncover their gifts and see what areas and professions are most suitable. And when you know your potential and your natural talent, you naturally become aligned with what it is that you choose to do. So my numerology consultations actually help people to find the thing that they are good at and also the things that naturally they will be attracted to, because when you have that potential, you'll naturally be fulfilled from the different professions and activities that we find with the help of numerology. So if you would like to find your career purpose, you can book your money code reading in the bio. It will be in the Psychic Swan link. To conclude, ladies, remember, it's your birthright to experience beauty, pleasure, and the richness of being alive. And unfortunately, you can't do that when you're merely in survival mode, when you don't let yourself feel pleasure, when you don't do what you love, and you're not connected to your creativity. Let yourself step into a life that feels luxurious, even in the smallest of ways. And if you really resonate with this feminine awakening and a life full of beauty and pleasure, then I invite you to subscribe to my channel, because I will be uncovering this in much more detail in the future, and you will also be guided into your femininity through different beautiful ways such as belly dancing and maybe more. Thank you so much for watching.